Silent Night, Deadly Night, Part 2? Hey everybody, and welcome back to me watching the Silent Night, Deadly Night series franchise or whatever, and then rating them against each other. Today, we are doing Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. This one starts with Richard, who's in like an insane asylum or a facility for deadly criminals. I'm not quite sure which one it was, but it starts off with an orderly coming in and not like breaking eye contact with him, like keeping his eye on him, so we know like Richard's dangerous. And he plugs in a recorder and a doctor comes in, and the doctor's a rude dickhead, first of all. Dr. Henry Bloom, he's there to talk about Richard's life, but like all Richard talks about is Billy for the first 40 fucking minutes of the film. So it literally goes from the doctor asking Richard to talk about like his life to footage of the first film. So the movie starts out with a mom and dad and two kids, one's a baby, and they're driving. Okay, I'm not gonna do that for all of the scenes they reused from the first movie. I just thought it would be silly if I added it in. I'm not gonna go back over the fucking scenes in the first film. I'm just gonna say it goes from A to B, and if you want to know what those parts are, you can watch my other video if you haven't yet, but if you have, I'm pretty sure you know which ones I'm talking about. So the next reused Billy trauma is the one from him drawing the picture all the way up to him getting spanked in Mother Superior's office, but it is a different couple having sex. It's not the nun from the first one. It's like they reshot that sex scene. I don't know. It is revealed to us that Dr. Bloom is the 13th shrink that has seen Richard. The doctor is asking something about Richard and how he sleeps, and Richard's like,
I don't sleep.
Honestly, at first, I wasn't really feeling the actor's acting because for some dumbass reason, I was like, why is he acting this character like this? Like, this is ridiculous how he's doing this. And then the more I got into the movie, I was like, oh, because he knows that it's camp. He's the camp counselor, and he's here to make sure you have a good time camping. That wasn't a funny joke, but I'm gonna leave it in anyways. Then we go to Billy Nightmare, and then Billy Punch Santa, those scenes. Then it's the scene where Billy sees himself in the mirror dressed as the Santa, all the way up until, like, Sister Margaret opens the door and sees all the murder that Billy did. Like, half of this movie is the first movie. Like, I was fucking laughing my ass off every time they cut to the first movie. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I was like, this is fucking amazing. Then it shows the killing of the two adult teens who were gonna bang on the pool table, but they took out the music from when Tommy was just downstairs ignoring his girlfriend being killed, so it's even worse. Like, you can probably totally hear her screaming and running around the room and all the thuds and everything, and he's still just down there. No music to have any excuse. He's just like, she better not be joking. So it looks even fucking worse on him. Oh, and when Tommy calls the fucking operator, they put in an operator voice line that tells him to call 911, and yes, thank you. 911 did exist when this movie fucking came out. Why did everybody dial the fucking operator? I forgot to mention that Dr. Bloom definitely calls Richard Mr. Caldwell, but their last name was Chapman. Then it shows the scenes where the cops start searching for Billy all the way up to Sister Margaret and the detective saying, oh, he's gonna go to the orphanage to get Mother Superior. And then Richard says this.
You're good, Doc. But I know all the moves. I could squash you like a bug.
Shut the fuck up, Richard, you goddamn fucking edgelord. Oh my god, that's too much. Then we're showing Father O'Brien getting murdered by that cop again, but this time it's not Father O'Brien. This time it's a janitor. Like, what? But also, the kid reaching out towards the Santa, turns out it was Richard, but he thought it was Billy and was super excited to see his brother dressed up as Santa. They also connect it into the adult Richard being traumatized by that event, so thanks for clearing that up for me from the first film. Also, Richard says that the cop was, like, kind of upset about killing him, but no, what the fuck, he wasn't at all. Fuck off. Then it's the movie from the cop clearing the basement all the way up to Billy being shot by the detective. And then we're there. 40 minutes into the movie, we finally made it to fucking Richard's story. So it's an 80-minute long movie, and 40 minutes it takes for us to get to actually Richard. But enough about Silent Night, Deadly Night. Let's talk about Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2, the second part of Silent Night, Night, Deadly Night Part 2. We find out the orphanage closed after Billy did his thing, and Richard was raised by the Rosenbergs, who didn't celebrate Christmas. We're shown through fucking obnoxiously horrible home movies that he's like, my life was pretty good, I guess. Richard apparently is super afraid of nuns, and we get these super cool shots of these nuns walking around with Jaws-esque music playing. Also, like, shouldn't he be terrified of cops more than he should be terrified of nuns at that point, seeing as it was the cops that did the murdering and not the nuns? The Rosenbergs are also worried about, like, Richard's psychology because he was, like, freaking out about the nuns and whatever. So they ask Sister Mary instead of asking, like, a child psychiatrist. So his adoptive father is like, I'm gonna spend more time with him. Richard also tells us that at 17, his stepdad died, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be his adoptive father. But he was really bummed about it, so he became a loner on purpose. And one day when he was walking through the woods on his own, he saw a couple and decided to, like, be a peeping Tom and watch them. When he's watching them, the boyfriend, Eddie, begins assaulting girlfriend, and Richard is having a flashback to his mother's murder from the point of view of Billy. I don't know why. And this triggers him into a murderous rage. So the girlfriend fights off Eddie and he's like, fuck this, I'm gonna get a beer. And then he goes, gets a beer at his car. Richard's in the car and he runs him over a bunch and he's dead. And then after that, Richard's trying to leave and the woman comes up and she's just like, thank you. And she gets to walk away alive because Richard doesn't murder her. Then we're shown that Richard has a +20 to stealth by sneaking up on the doctor in a fucking giant ass white room with blaring lights. Richard is asking the doctor a bunch of personal questions and the doctor's answering them, but then gets flustered about being asked personal questions and it's like, don't answer them then in the first place. You're supposed to be the authority, not him. And then we're back on to talking about Richard and he's talking about a job that he had to pay his way through college, and we get another flashback where he's taking the trash out, and during this time there's a loan shark beating up another man, and Richard doesn't appreciate this. So Richard kills this man by picking up a dumpster umbrella, shoving it directly through the man's torso, and opening it out the back. Like, fucking what? What the fuck is with some of these kills, like, in general, in slasher movies that are just like, why? The psychologist interviewing Richard is now very terrified because they didn't know about these two murders before. Like, these were unknown murders that he had done. But, like, you already knew he was a murderer. I don't understand why you're gonna let that rattle you. Like, you already knew he killed a couple different people, like a grouping of people. I don't understand why two previously unknown murders would shake you so much that you would be sweating like a person who sweats a lot. But he does shake off his terror and gets the balls to say,
and tell me about Jennifer.
And I don't know what it was about when he said that, and this is like a completely different tangent that has nothing to do with the movie. But when the doctor said that to Richard, and Richard's like reaction, for some reason that shit just made me miss D&D like a lot. So Richard starts talking about Jennifer and tells the story about like how they met, and it's because she rear-ended him when he was on his motorcycle trying to back up out of like a parking spot, and she gets out of her car and instead of like being worried or whatever, like he dropped his fucking bike. This dumb bitch gets out the car and starts like giggling. Are you fucking kidding me, bitch? But they get together anyways, I guess, because apparently they have the same amount of regard for other people's safety. He's all like, I never wanted to lose her, and he like loves her and whatever, and before the love of his life has any fucking dialogue, we see her butt-ass naked. But while they're banging, he totally says, like, that was my first time and I thought it was hers too, which is, like, foreshadowing, because murderers are a fucking mess in the sexual department. So Jen and Richard are on a date at the movie theater. There's two obnoxious guys in the back that won't stop talking, and Jen's all like, oh, I hope the whole movie's not like this. Just before the movie starts, Richard asks her, what's this movie about again? And she's like, it's about a man who dresses up as Santa and kills everybody. And just when you fucking thought you were done seeing the first Silent Night, Deadly Night, you are smacked in the face with Silent Night, Deadly Night again. It's the scene from the beginning of the first movie with the first fake Santa robbing the store. I'm not fucking kidding. This triggers Richard and he like leaves. Jen's ex shows up and is all trying to get back with her and whatever. So she's being annoyed in the movie theater. I don't understand how anybody in this theater is dealing with any of this. There's so much talking and business going on. You are at the movie theater. Talking through movies is for when you're watching movies at home. Like, shut the fuck up. What are the original chat Matters makes some snark-ass comment.
This movie's so bogus.
And then Richard murders both of them in a movie theater because he's got plus 20 to stealth. Chip finally leaves after trying to get Jennifer to go back with him. And when he gets up to leave, there's just a woman standing in the aisle waiting for him, watching him try to pick up this other chick. I think she might be wasting her time. Richard sits back down next to Jennifer and his voice sounds different, like totally Batman kind of different. Richard and Jennifer are taking a walk down the street where they meet Chip, who is working on his car, and Chip goes right on in on insulting Jennifer at her choice of a new boyfriend. Richard confronts him and Chip reveals that Jennifer and him have had sex before, and then Richard just kills him by putting a jumper cable into his mouth and then something with his car's battery. He gets electrocuted and his eyes pop. Jennifer is freaking the fuck out because obviously you would be, and she's like, what the fuck, you killed him, I don't like you anymore. While she's yelling at him, Richard is having flashbacks to Mother Superior telling Billy about punishment being good and all this stuff, but it's like Billy's flashback. I guess you can get away with that's how she was with all of the kids because she probably was, but at the same time, Richard responds crazily and she audibly gulps and starts to run away. She doesn't get far because he rips off the antenna of Chip's car and strangles her with it. Meanwhile, a police officer is casually pulling up and politely waits until Richard is done killing Jennifer to say anything to stop him. This fucking useful idiot gets so close to fucking Richard that Richard's able to just like turn the man's hand and point the gun at his head and makes him shoot himself in the head. So the cop is dead and now Richard has a gun. And this is the start of Richard's spree, rampage, ridiculous fucking killing without the meaning of punishment or the people being naughty behind it. He's walking down the street maniacally fucking laughing, shoots a man that runs out and says, hey, what's that noise? And then another man is taking out the trash and then he says,
Garbage day!
And then shoots that man. And then he fucking shoots a car that's driving down the street and this fucking happens. That fucking stuntman, though, is pretty fucking brave. He almost got his shoulder taken out by that damn car. Really, all stunt people are brave, though. Like, Jesus Christ, guys. I don't really understand why he killed those 3 people. I kind of have the feeling that he shot those 3 people without the meaning of like punishment or naughty behind it because they had to rack up his kills more than Billy's were. When those ones started happening, I was like, what are we fucking doing here? Just being a maniac. He's eventually surrounded by the police and he tries to shoot himself, but he had ran out of ammo. So that's why he's in the mental facility arrest unit thingy that I don't know what it's called that he's in right now. And it's cutting back to the scene of the interview and it turns out Richard killed the psychiatrist by choking him with the tape recorder stuff because this movie was also released in the 80s, so they don't just record it digitally, they record it on a physical tape for all you youngins out there. And then Richard just leaves the facility and assumedly kills some orderlies and doctors and maybe even patients on his way out. We don't know, we just hear the tape recorder recording all the screams and stuff, and then it transitions into a detective and Sister Mary that I didn't mention before, but I didn't even have to mention her because all she did was find him a home and that was it. Like, she's not really in the movie at all, except for at the end just to parallel Sister Margaret. They are talking about how it's been 6 hours since he left and basically, oh, he's probably gonna go to Mother Superior, Mama Sups, because obviously that's where his brother went and that's kind of like what he's doing. It doesn't seem like they're super concerned because they're like, he has to find her first because she's retired because she got a stroke. But like, I don't understand how nuns retire. I thought like when you're a nun for life. Can you retire from a marriage to God? So then Richard murders a Salvation Army Santa to get some coins so he can call Mother Superior because of course he fucking found her. So he calls her and he's like, Santa's back, bitch. And she's just kind of like, who is this? And then we cut to her and she's looking like this. What the fuck? She had a stroke, not the goddamn bubonic plague. What is this makeup? Anyways, the building she's staying in is building 666, but I swear to God, it's the same fucking layout from the orphanage from the first movie. Richard axes his way into the building and then axes his way into Mother Superior's room. And she's like trying to get away from him. So she's in her wheelchair wheeling around and apparently she's on the 2nd fucking floor because she makes it to the staircase and she's trying to get down the stairs. I don't know really how, and Richard comes out and like is gonna get her, but then she tumbles down the stairs and gets into her other wheelchair that is downstairs. So she makes her way to the kitchen, grabs a knife, and then goes to the dining room and starts calling for Richard to come out, like, fight me, you little bitch. So he gets there, and there is no Deus Ex Machina for Mama Sups this time, and she gets it. But Sister Mary and the detective do show up, and Sister Mary is pretty bummed to the point where she faints when she finds Mother Superior's head is actually not attached to her body anymore. And when she faints, Richard goes to kill her, and the detective shoots him. He doesn't really die yet. And then a shadow shotgun cop shoots Richard, and Richard goes flying backwards through the window, and he's probably dead. That's Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2, which is only half of a new movie. I don't know how I feel about this one. What the fuck? Wow. So hopefully this doesn't continue as a trend, but for the Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2, I'm gonna have to put it as the second on the ranking, because Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 is 40 minutes of Silent Night, Deadly Night, and then just 40 minutes of Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. So I like camp, but to me, it wasn't campy enough. I thought if instead of adding the first movie into the second movie, that they just camped out the whole entire second movie, kind of like an Evil Dead situation where that worked out really well. I know that Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 has like a cult following to it because it's pretty campy, but I don't think I would have been in that boat. I'm not in it now, so I guess I'm not in that boat. I did like when Richard was being like just insane. That laughter for no fucking reason was just like, oh my god, that... Love it. To my understanding, what I read was that the people who owned the rights, or like the production company or something like this, the money people, thought it would be a good idea to just re-edit the first movie and then put it out as if it was a second movie, which is basically almost what they did. But I believe I did read that the director and stuff was like, no, we want to make an actual second movie. So that's why we have like Richard and an actual 40 minutes of another movie. You know, you kind of hate to see it. All the time when moneyed people get involved in like the creative process of making any type of decision like that, when the creative people are like, no, this would be better, and the money people are like, no, we're doing this instead, you know it's gonna be shit, because money people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Like, that's just my 2 cents. The creator knows best, and not the financiers. So we're gonna just put it up to second. So Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. Second. So for the next part, is there too much in the trailer of the movie? And again, we're doing the kills of the movie and not like the storyline of the movie or anything like that. And for Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, there are 22 kills total. Richard gets 11 of those. And in the trailer itself, there are 7 of the 22, but 6 of those 22 are Richard's 11. So kind of a hard call. So restart. I was confusing myself because I was like, should I count the kills that they used from the first movie in with the total count for this movie? And I'm just gonna go with yes. I'm just gonna go with 22 for this movie, because we're gonna act like we haven't seen the first movie, because you kind of don't need to see the first movie to watch the second movie. Out of the 22 kills, only 7 of the kills are in the trailer. So I'm going to say there's not too much in the trailer. So that's my verdict. I don't know, you don't have to really agree with me. I'm not really sure I agree with myself on this one. Thank you guys for watching my video. Please let me know what you thought in the comments. Let me know if you've seen any of these movies. Do you agree with me here? Like the video if you liked it, share it if you liked it a lot. And I will see you guys in the next video, where we'll be talking about Silent Night, Deadly Night 3, Better Watch Out. Bye! Did I say O'Brien or did I say O'Malley again?
Father O'Malley.
Stop talking. I am rambling now. I need to shut the fuck up. Feel real good.
Wish you weren't so fucking awkward, bud.